Alright, I always get questions from students struggling with general application problems. And general essentially means that all you're really trying to do is solve the problem provided the information you've been given. It all boils down to being able to read whatever paragraph you have and create the equation necessary for solving the problem, which will result in giving you the answer that you want. So I have 4 examples here that I was going or want to look at. And in each example, we're going to talk through how exactly you come up with the equations and the key things that you have to look for. So the first one says, the total cost of a computer flash drive and a color printer was $225.50. Okay, so that's where I would stop. And I would look at what exactly do I know here. Well, I know that when I'm talking about my total cost, that is coming up from a flash drive plus a color printer. So that's what we're adding together. Okay? And that being said, we know that total cost is going to be $225.50 equals my flash drive plus my color printer. Now the second sentence says, if the cost of the flash drive was $170.70 less than the printer, what is the cost of each item? So that second sentence tells you that my flash drive is $170.70 less than. So this means it's my color printer minus $170.70. Okay, that's what the second one tells me. So I want to know the cost of each item. So the first thing that I would do is I'm told what the flash drive is. And I have a flash drive in my total cost. So what that means is that I would take this equation here and substitute it in for where your flash drive is in your total cost, thus rewriting your problem. So in this case, we would have $225.50 is equal to my color printer minus the $170.70 and then plus the color printer. Now all you have to do is simply solve. So the first thing I would do is I would take my color printer, so take this and I would move it over. Because it's being subtracted, to move it says we have to add. So in this case, we're going to have the $225.50 plus $170.70 is going to give us $396.20 is equal to, and then the other thing that I have is I have 1 color printer and 2 color printers. So combining that gives me 2 color printers. Divide it by 2 and we come out with your color printer equals $198.10. Now, we now have found out what the color printer is, which means I can take what we know, so we can take this value here, and we can input it into my flash drive equation, and in doing so, find the cost of the flash drive. So when we do that, my flash drive here is going to end up equaling $198.10 minus $170.70. Therefore, when we do the subtraction, you're going to come out with that flash drive being $27.40. Now, you can double check your work by adding these two values together and making sure they come up with $225.50. Okay? So overall, what do we know? Well, we know that the flash drive was 2740 and the color printer is 19810. Always make sure when you're doing problems like these that you take a second and you rewrite your solution in a way that makes it easy to follow, easy to see, and easy to understand. Alright, let's look at a different one. So this one here says, on average, the number of electric guitars sold in Texas each year is 91,399, which is 7 times the average of guitars sold each year in Wyoming. How many electric guitars on average are sold each year in Wyoming? So what do we know? We have Texas, which we can label with a T, is 91,399. Now the other thing that we know is we know that Texas, again T, is going to be 7 Wyoming. Which we could call W. So if we actually look at that, we have an equation. T equals 7W. Well, we know what T is. So T is 91,399 equals 7W. Divide by 7 and you get 13,057 guitars sold in Wyoming. So sometimes your problems are a little complicated, like this one here. Other times they're fairly straightforward, like this one down here. Alright, let's look at another one. We have the U-Drive company charges $20 per day plus 22 cents per mile driven. For a one-day trip, Lewis paid a rental fee of $66.20. How many miles did he drive? So if we look at the first sentence, you walk in the door at this U-Drive rental company, and you are automatically going to pay $20 per day plus 22 cents a mile. So when we're talking about cost, we are talking about $20 per day plus 0.22 per mile. Now the other thing that we know is we know that you paid a total fee of $66.20. So we have $66.20 is equal to 20 plus 0.22, and let's call it M for miles. So all we have to do is solve for M. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to move the 20. So we're going to take this 20 and we are going to move it to the other side. In order to do that, it says that we have to subtract. So $66.20 minus my $20 is going to leave me with $46.20, and that equals 0.22 M for miles. Now we need to divide everything by 0.22, and when we do, we're going to end up with 210 miles driven. So what it comes down to is knowing which variable you have to solve for. Now, how did I know that I just was able to stick with 20? Well, it's because in your problem it talks about a one-day trip. Now, the last one I wanted to look at says that you have 3 sides of a triangle, and they are n, 4n minus 4, and 2n plus 7. So if we look at the picture here, I have a triangle. And of the triangle, I have 3 sides. So I have n, I have 4n minus 4, and I have 2n plus 7. And it says if the perimeter is 59, then what is the length of each side? So first of all, my perimeter is found by the formula a plus b plus c. So that's adding up all the sides. So here I have n plus 4n minus 4 plus 2n plus 7 equals 59. Solve for n. Since my parentheses are addition, it means that I can drop them out. So I have n plus 4n. So n plus 4n is a 5n plus 2 more gives you 7n. And then I have negative 4 plus 7 is going to be plus 3 equals 59. I need to subtract 3 because I need to move it. Since it is being added, to move it says subtract. So I end up with 7n is equal to 56. Divide everything by 7 and you get that n is equal to 8. Now, the question wants to know the length of each side. So therefore, we know n equals 8. We also have 2n plus 7. So what we have to do is you would have to input the 8. So this is going to be the same as 2 times 8 plus 7, which is going to give you 23. That's funny. Gives you 23. And then I have 4n minus 4. So again, 4 times 8 minus 4. And this is going to give you 28. So therefore, your 3 sides are 8 centimeters, 23 centimeters, and 28 centimeters. And in this case, units are important because they were given to you in the problem here. Alright, so those are 4 different application problems, each of which was solved using a very similar approach, which boils down to being able to write your equation. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, remember to have fun, relax, keep smiling, and as always, I'll see you next time.